Okay, here I'm installing some surface mount LED tape light, strip light. It's 12 volt. It's pretty darn cool. Not very expensive. I think the entire roll, which was about 5 meters, was $15. Postpaid from China. Took about 2 weeks to get here. I think the entire roll is about, these are super high brightness. It's going to be pretty hard to see these. And each three represents a module. Probably can't see it on here, but there's a little line, yeah, right here. You can cut at each one of those. Each one of these LEDs is around 3.5, 3.7 volts. I guess that's a resistor. So it makes it a 12 volt module, and you can cut it wherever you want. Of course, power needs to be off for that. But the entire roll is about 3 amps. So here I've got this. How many feet is that? It's about 7 feet. So in meters, that's what, a little over 2 meters, 2.5 meters, 2 1/3, something like that. They're actually powered through. This is a dimmer. So it's an electronic dimmer as opposed to just a resistor. It, I guess, varies the pulses coming to it. Maybe it's a constant current dimmer as opposed to a voltage dimmer, so that you get the right color on the LEDs. And that's a bright white. It's a daylight white as opposed to a soft white. Soft white's not as good for reading and task work. The bright white is exceptional for looking at, fine details and rendering colors and whatnot. And it's kind of messy, sorry. It's coming down through there, and it's powered by this guy, one of these adapters, which was an extra. It was a, one from an old display or something. And it had enough current in it, and was free. And the connector actually was the exact same one that goes into that. So my cost was $3 for the variable dimmer, which is awesome. Highly recommend that. And the tape was, oh gosh, that's probably about $7 of tape. I'm going to use the rest of it for another project, so that was $10, I guess, for the total. And then here's something that I highly recommend. I bought this at Home Depot yesterday. This is, you could use unfinished, or you could use pre-finished pine and probably get an 8-foot section. This is shoe molding. It's the very narrow shoe molding, not the tall stuff. It's not quarter round, it's just shoe molding. And what I did is I put it up here at the end of my bullnose shelf, and the idea there is so the light is distributed down but doesn't hit you right in the eyes, because my wife's a little bit shorter than I am. And I noticed sitting here that I was getting beamed in the eyes by the side of the LED, which there's not that much, but I don't know about you, but for me, pretty sensitive to being beamed in the eye with any light. I get easily distracted, so anything that can help with that would be a good idea. So that is the current solution. I've actually got, I'll follow this up with the natural light. I've got, not a natural light, I'm sorry, a reddish light, a, what do you call that, a soft white light. I've got a strip of that too, and what I was going to do is actually put that behind this so that my wife would have the ability to vary each of them with the knob there. Actually, 2 different knobs. So you could have full brightness, bright white, or you could have the soft white, or some combination in between. And the idea is give you the perfect light that you want for whatever you're working on. So really good, really cheap, and actually very energy efficient. I think this entire roll, what did I say, it was about 3 amps, so at 12 volts it's 36 watts, and I'm using less than half of it, so we'll say this is full brightness, going to be about 15 watts. of electricity consumption, and it puts out, gosh, at least a 100-watt bulb down here, but it's nice and spread out over the entire surface. That's the idea. Of course, these are hanging down because I just wanted to show you what they look like. But very impressed with these things. They're the wave of the future, and if you haven't seen them, then you're gonna, and I would highly recommend. There's a cabinet downstairs I'm going to put them in. You know, one of those old China cabinets that we redid. My wife did a beautiful job on, and it's perfect for, you know, hiding a strip underneath there. And they're also really good for putting up, you know, you put them on the top of cabinets and throw light up onto the ceiling. So we're doing a kitchen project and plan on doing that there too. But I wonder if this gives you some conception of the lighting difference. See if I can turn the, there's the overhead fluorescent. So, you know, it looks totally blue, but it's not that bad. It's definitely more blue. It's kind of like a fluorescent, typical fluorescent bulb, but there's no flicker, absolutely no flicker, and I don't know, it's not quite that nasty. I turned mine off at the office, and in fact, I'd like to put some of these in at the office. Maybe I will. So next, yeah, sorry about the mess, but I'm going to do my little workstation there too. It's a little more tricky because, as you see, I've got an angle. So I guess what I'm going to do, rather than try to bend it, is to run it to that point and cut it, and then reattach it. You know, so I can stick it directly on. That's the other thing. I don't know if I mentioned that. It sticks right on. I've actually pulled this off one time, so I could put this light shield or whatever you want to call it, trim there, and that's it.